Let it sink in. I, who volunteered to inform the US government about potential security breach and about compromising information about a man vying to be the next president, am now being hunted by the very same people whom I informed and may have to live on the run for the rest of my life.
Joining me now, Brianna Lyman, great reporter for the Daily Caller. Okay, Brianna, I've seen the charges now. Of course, they charge the guy with everything underneath the sun. Maybe it's real, maybe he's dirty, maybe he's not, but I don't believe any of these people anymore. I've been lied to too many times. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. You know, the Department of Justice, they suddenly have the motivation to prosecute people under FARA violations. But let's not forget that Hunter, James, Sarah Biden were all, foreign agents, at least according to the double standard we have here, of CEFC China Energy, right? If you go back to, for instance, 2017, that's the infamous text message that Hunter Biden sent to a CEFC executive saying, I'm sitting here with my father, we're waiting on a phone call. 10 days later, $5.1 million is wired into bank accounts related to the Biden family. Hunter Biden gets a 3.1 carat diamond estimated to be worth about $80,000 from a CEFC executive. This is not the only instance in which, Hunter Biden was essentially working with this Chinese organization, and he's not listed as a foreign agent. So, you talk about the fact that even if Luft is guilty, does it really matter if there's not a fair application of the law to other people?
Brianna, is the population as a whole, I'm not worried about people like you, obviously, but the population as a whole, are they starting to realize just how evil and corrupt this government is, that they shouldn't trust any of these people? Or are these people all just normie norms and they're a million years behind us?
Unfortunately, I don't think enough people are not trusting the government. Those on the right obviously have had the certain disdain for government overreach that we've seen from, when people are getting investigated by the FBI at school board meetings or because they question lockdowns, right? We have been kind of keenly aware since 2020 of this weaponized Department of Justice. But those on the left, they see this as justice being carried out. And instead, if you point to things like what I just mentioned with Hunter Biden and other Biden family members, they will tell you that that is just a right-wing conspiracy theory. So their method of doing this is anything Republicans say, conspiracy theory.
Speaking of Biden, tell me about this Missouri versus Biden thing. This thing looks like it's going in our favor, no?
Oh, absolutely. Good job on the judge for standing up to the Biden administration. They come out to appeal this decision. And I do think it speaks to the larger point here in that, this order, it focused on protected free speech, but there were still exceptions carved out so that the government can, continue on their merry way with some censorship issues here. But the Biden administration, especially Joe Biden, on the day he was sworn into office, he promised on the Bible to protect the Constitution, which includes the First Amendment. And what did this man do? What did his administration do? They worked to stifle conservatives. And James Madison said in 1791, he said, public opinion sets bounds to every government. There was no public opinion allowed in the last 2.5 years. And as a result of that, you saw vaccine mandates, you saw lockdowns, you saw people who questioned whether the virus escaped from a lab were labeled as, right-wing nut jobs. And so when you don't have public opinion and sentiment being able to, be freely expressed on Twitter, on Facebook because of the government is only allowing those who speak in their favor to speak out. And these are the types of consequences that we have to see.
You just did a piece about Joe Biden. I saw Axios ran a story about Joe Biden dropping F-bombs on staffers, and you did a good piece on it. I don't know why anyone's surprised by this, just because the media tried to sell him as some old man with a little bit of a stutter. The guy's been a jerk around. This has been well known in D.C. circles forever. Joe Biden's a jerk.
Yeah, and on Joe Biden's first day, he told all of his appointees, he said, listen, no ifs, ands, or buts. If you have no decency and no respect for your colleagues, you're going to be fired on the spot. And here you have these allegations coming from former and current staffers that Biden is showing no decency and no respect for his staffers. Although I will say this one thing, Jesse, part of me wonders, was this a leak so that people believe, you know what, Joe Biden really does have a backbone behind the scenes and he's not some meek, quiet guy who's possibly suffering from dementia?
You want to watch our special on George Washington? It's freaking awesome. Well, you can. All you have to do is become a First TV supporter. That gives you access to all of our specials on demand, and it's cake. All you have to go to is thefirsttv.com/support. Thefirsttv.com/support. Become a supporter. Enjoy learning about George Washington.